Hi, this is Michelle Olson at GreenLight Coaching. Today I want to talk about a taboo subject in our culture. I want to talk about grief. Yes, grief, grief, grief. Often in career transition, there's a natural experience of grief. Most of the women I work with are highly successful. They have followed external authority and external expectations. They've done well in school. They've done well at university. They've done well at the companies that employ them. And they reach this point where they go, is this it? Is this all there is? And there's a real disconnect between the success that they experience externally and the fulfillment that they feel on the inside. And a lot of times there's a trigger to this dissatisfaction, right? Like such a trigger to say, okay, the dissatisfaction's greater than what I want to experience and I want to make a change. And so some of these triggers can be the death of a parent, a death of a friend, getting fired or laid off, or simply just watching a friend that they respect and admire make a career transition of their own and see them feeling fulfilled both inside and out. So grief is such a part of the process, right? Like the grief that gets instilled through the trigger, and then the grief of the loss of the self. So oftentimes when women are looking back through their work history, they're realizing at some point they gave up on that young part of them that had these big dreams or thought they would be in this place or feel certain amount of contentment and peace at this stage of their life, and they're just not there, and they're feeling really disconnected from their authentic self. And so the way back to our authentic self, the way back to connection with ourselves is to allow grief to come up, and that's really tending to it with a lot of TLC, tending to it and giving it attention. Malidoma Somé, who's done a lot of, he comes from this tradition called the Dagara tradition in Africa. When he first came to the United States, and he was in New York City, he recognized the ways our culture doesn't allow for grief at many different levels, right? There's just the grief that we experience when we lose someone dies, but then there's the grief that we just have in our day-to-day lives. Things change, relationships change, places we live change, jobs we take and do change. And so if we don't give that attention and we don't give that some ritual space, it will linger with us. Grief is really persistent. It's like the ocean. It will keep coming. The waves will keep coming until we give it attention. The good news is that when we do give it attention and we do give it space and we do honor it, it will simply be dismissed. It will go away. We won't have to deal with it again. So one of the ways I encourage my clients to work with it is through rituals. So it could look like, I'm just going to share two simple rituals that are possible. One ritual is to just write down everything that you thought you were going to have as a young person, everything you thought work was going to provide you connected to yourself, all the difference you thought you were going to make in the world, the dreams that you had, or even that just lost part of yourself. Write that down, and then once you feel complete, like you've gotten it all out, then burn it. Let it go. Give it back out into the world, back out into the universe. The second ritual is using the ocean or a body of water, so the ocean or a river or a lake or a creek, and maybe bringing one or two of your beloveds, your close people in your life, and having them witness you. And you could take a stone or a rock and throw that stone or rock into the body of water with each disappointment. The idea is letting it go. I let go of that disappointment. I give it up. And allow whatever feelings come up. Allow the tears if there's tears. Allow the rage if there's rage. Allow whatever it is. Don't resist it. Because again, as a reminder, when we give grief time and attention, it really does go away. It won't resist and persist as long as we give it attention. So be kind to the grief if you're there. Be kind to yourself in the grief if you're there. know it's totally part of the process. Anytime we have a change in life or a transition in life, grief is part of it. Unfortunately, we live in a very doing culture. It's not a very being culture. There's a lot more value put on the doing. And so grief is a lot about being and letting the waves come through us. So if you have other grief rituals that you like to use, I'd love to hear from you. I hope this was helpful. I wish you all a great day. Bye.